Let's work on our language arts. Our packet pages 272 and 273, and read from our textbook, page 206 through 223. We'll start first with our language arts packet, page 272. Page 272 is called A Present from Ed. Circle and write the word that completes each sentence. Number 1. I got flowers on my birthday. I got flowers on my birthday. Two. They were so birthday beautiful. They were so beautiful. Three. One was a sunflower. Giant, delighted. To be delighted means to be happy or pleased. One was look here at your illustration as a clue, a giant sunflower. Four. Some flowers were smaller. Some flowers were smaller. Five. My birthday was so nice and pleasant. Giant. My birthday was so nice and pleasant. When you're ready, let's go ahead and open up to our textbook, page 206. Get set to read The Hat. We're on page 206 and 207. A Present for Toad. The next story is about a birthday present that's the wrong size. Discover how Frog makes the present fit. Maybe you're familiar with these characters, Frog and Toad. I don't know if you've read any of their stories, but I hope that you have because they are very fun stories. These two characters, Frog and Toad, often get into very silly situations together. Let's go ahead and read our words to know. Able, eyes, present, thoughts, smaller, larger, biggest. And let's read on page 207 our practice sentences. 1. Frog wanted to get a present for Toad. 2. Frog had many thoughts. What if the present was a hat? 3. If the hat was smaller than Toad's head, it wouldn't fit. 4. If the hat was larger than Toad's head, it wouldn't fit. 5. If Frog got the biggest hat, it would cover Toad's eyes. 6. Would Frog be able to get the right present? When you're ready, let's turn. Meet the author and illustrator, Arnold Lobel. Growing up, Arnold Lobel read lots of books and drew many pictures. He became an illustrator and a writer. He created more than 70 children's books. Frog and Toad are his most famous characters. Arnold Lobel got the idea from toads his children played with in Vermont. And here's our story. It comes from Days with Frog and Toad. Usually their books have a collection of a few stories. So when you have one book, you might have about 4 or 5 stories inside of that book. So within the book, Days with Frog and Toad, we're going to read just one of those stories. Let's turn. The Hat. Go ahead and read with me. Ready? Begin. On Toad's birthday, Frog gave him a hat. Now let's look here. Before we even go any further, we're going to use our illustration as a clue. It says, on Toad's birthday, Frog gave him a hat. So who has the hat? Since he has the hat, this must be Toad. So Toad is brown and Frog is green. Okay, let's continue. Toad was delighted. Happy birthday, said Frog. Toad put on the hat. It fell down over his eyes. I am sorry, said Frog. That hat is much too big for you. I will give you something else. No, said Toad. This hat is your present to me. I like it. I will wear it the way it is. Now, one thing I like about these characters is that they are good friends and they do try their very best to show respect and kindness to one another. However, if we look here at the hat, you should notice there's a bit of a problem. The problem is that it's completely covering his eyes. Now, if you think about that, could this cause more problems for him? Yes, certainly. This could cause more problems for Toad, but let's go ahead and turn the page and find out what happens. Ready? Begin. Frog and Toad went for a walk. Toad tripped over a rock. He bumped into a tree. He fell in a hole. Frog, said Toad, I can't see anything. I will not be able to wear your beautiful present. This is a sad birthday for me. Now, it's really kind that Toad did try to wear the hat, but Frog did offer to choose a different present instead. But let's keep reading on the next page here. Ready? Begin. Frog and Toad were sad for a while. Then Frog said, Toad, here is what you must do. Tonight, when you go to bed, you must think some very big thoughts. Those big thoughts will make your head grow larger. In the morning, your new hat may fit. What a good idea, said Toad. Now, first grade, pause here for just a moment. Is it true that if you think some very big thoughts, that it will make your head grow larger? Is that possible? No, that's not actually true. But it is an interesting idea. Let's turn and see what happens next. Ready? Begin. That night, when Toad went to bed, he thought the biggest thoughts that he could. Toad thought about giant sunflowers. He thought about tall oak trees. He thought about high mountains covered with snow. Those are all really great big thoughts. But let's see what happens next. Then Toad fell asleep. Frog came into Toad's house. He came in quietly. Frog found the hat and took it to his house. Okay, first grade, make a prediction. What do you think Frog is going to do with the hat? let's go ahead and turn the page and see if your prediction is correct. Frog poured some water on the hat. He put the hat in a warm place to dry. It began to shrink. That hat grew smaller and smaller. Take a look here at this progression. Here's where the hat started. Notice that it is actually shrinking. First grade, has that ever happened to you? Maybe with a shirt that you have put through the wash, and then later, once it's been dried, the shirt is a little smaller than it used to be? Sometimes that happens with certain materials. That's true. But let's see how this continues for Frog and Toad. Frog went back to Toad's house. Toad was still fast asleep. Frog put the hat back on the hook where he found it. When Toad woke up in the morning, he put the hat on his head. It was just the right size. Pretty interesting. Let's turn. Toad ran to Frog's house. "Frog, Frog," he cried, "all those big thoughts have made my head much larger. Now I can wear your present." Frog and Toad went for a walk. Toad did not trip over a rock. He did not bump into a tree. He did not fall in a hole. It turned out to be a very pleasant day after Toad's birthday. Okay, first grade, this is a pretty silly story, but it's really sweet to see the friendship between Frog and Toad. Is it actually true that those big thoughts made Toad's head larger? No, but Frog was able to help out his friend and make the present work for him. Do you think that Frog ended up telling Toad what he did? My guess is I don't know. Turn one more page, first grade, and you'll see here are some pages that actually help you to learn the difference between frogs and toads. Here they compare them on this chart here to see the differences between their skin, their environments, their habitats in which they live. That can help you determine which one is a frog and which one is a toad. And even here on this side, there are some pictures taking what you learned from here to have you try and practice it. And then if you think you know, you can check your answers right down below. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our practice book, page 273. 273 is called What Was the Cause? Meaning, what was the reason why something happened? So let's answer these questions. Number 1, why did Frog give Toad a hat? It was Toad's, It was Toad's birthday. 2, why was Toad sad for a little while? The hat did not fit him. 3, why was Toad much happier at the end of the story? The hat shrunk and fit him. Of course, if you have different options, you can write that too. Well, first grade, I want to tell you congratulations because you have just completed reading the final first grade reading textbook story. Go ahead, take your hand and give yourself a gentle pat on the back and say, "Great job. I'm so proud of your reading. Great job working today."